Here's a question for you. Is it possible to be number one in Google My Business, right at the top of even the pack, the 3-pack? Is it possible to do that with no website and no budget at all? And then to be even ahead of national companies that have put tens of thousands of pounds into SEO to be number one. Is it possible to beat them, outrank them, and then get as many inquiries, if not even more, than they possibly could through Google My Business? And also, here's another question. Is it possible to rank high in, say, an area that you've only got as a second category? So if you're into Google My Business, you'll realise you have a primary category, but you can also have second categories. So can you rank at number one even with a second category? And finally, we're going to take a trip around the world today by reviewing several Google My Business listings in areas such as the UK, Canada, America, India, even Australia. So you're going to find this a really useful video because we're going to learn from what we see. It's pretty much done on a live basis as well. So welcome to my video. So I'm Zane from Zanet Design, and I help businesses grow on the internet. So things like Google My Business has been a really helpful way of enabling businesses like yours to get inquiries for free. It's free advertising, it's free marketing, it's free SEO. So if you haven't done so already, you're going to see, as these examples go to show in this video now, that just with no effort at all, you can get some tremendously good inquiries and traffic. You can basically be number one without paying the millions of pounds that these big corporate companies have paid to come up number one for your area on a local basis. So let's jump straight in and see how you can do that for your company.
Let's take our first one then from Australia, and we're looking for an accountant in Australia. So let's just enter that in. And there we've got our map pack top 3, and we see that this one here with 1 review comes up as number 1, so that's always interesting. Let's just go to the full flavour of this then. So interesting also that you've got this writing here, the non-English, so it's probably Chinese writing, and again I wonder how that's made the top 3 with no reviews. This seems to be like there's no competition here. I think I've actually covered this area once before. So if we look at, let's just take this then and have a look at what we can find here. So 1 review on here, and there's not a lot of information. So I would have said that if anyone's in the top 20, for you to get to the top here, there's not really a lot of competition. If you followed 1 or 2 of my videos, you probably would find that you'd soon, within probably a month, you'd be in the top 3, and maybe within 3 months you could then be consistently number 1. So the competition seems to be quite easy in this area if you're an accountant. So if you listen to this, or you know of an accountant in Australia, particularly in the Surrey Hills area, then you need to just follow a couple of videos and you could certainly see a tremendous amount of inquiries. Okay, so just looking at this as well, it's good they got a 360 added here, but there's no questions, there's no suggestions of edits or anything, because that again gets updated now if you've done that recently. So that hours of service may differ, can disappear, which we hopefully will come across one of those later. The only thing I'll notice here then is you've got a local guide, which is always good, that's given some reviews, and he does photos. So just again, this is kind of a relatively new thing to see, but it's been around for a while. But if you look at that local guide, so he's a level 4. So the higher the level of the local guide, and particularly regarding if they have done lots of reviews on, say, accountancies, and they give different ratings on that, that can hold a bit more of a sway, a bit more of a swing on what their review is. So a 5-star review from a local guide of 4 is going to have some benefits. Obviously, the higher the guide is, the better. So let's just have a look at the next one. Again, 1 review. There's not a lot of images, but it's good it's got a shop front, because that shows they are who they say they are. So that kind of often helps to authenticate the business. So we've got another guide here, a 5-star review, legal consolidated. If we just check, his rating is a level 6. So that's good as well. And the fact that he's based in Australia, that authenticates the business. So those kind of reviews will help. The fact that they're quite good local guides. But again, not a lot of information here. Let's just try one more. Let's go to USA Accounting. So here again, we've got one review. Again, you've got a local guide. So my suggestion would be with all these really is, first of all, none of them seem to have a reply to their guides or their reviews. The fact that someone's said best accountants by far, why not reply to that if you're the owner of this business and use the keywords here, accountant in Surrey Hills, Australia. So you can just say, thank you so much for considering that I'm the best accountant in Surrey Hills, Australia. It means a lot to us. Thank you. And if there's anything we can do to show our gratitude, please get in touch. That type of thing will go a long way, because again, you're using keywords that people are putting up here, and that's one of the best ways to just focus on keywords into your business in a natural way. So our trip around the world now is going to take us to Montreal. So let's see what's there. You notice that up here, so Time Out, TripAdvisor, hotels, Yelp, they also now come up as a result. So you do need to make sure that if you're a fitness centre and you can register in any of these areas, then there's a chance that also that will then give you a little bit of a boost in how Google views you. The fact that not only is it another chance for you to be found, and that's in kind of the top place in Google's search result, ahead of the top 3 here, but also on top of that, then it gives you an opportunity to also get some boost in Google My Business as well. So let's just head down. So here's our top 3. We'll go to more places. And here they put in a couple of adverts. So Anytime Fitness was number 1, but they've put these ahead in the maps. This is now in Google Maps. Let's take Anytime Fitness and have a quick look at that. So what do we see here then? Well, you notice first of all that there's no answer to a question. So someone's asked a question, they haven't answered it. Let's just see. So it looks like there's a few questions there, not really getting any answers. Now that's a real shame again, because these questions are genuine questions. These are people asking them and no one's giving an answer. So that doesn't rate so well when you do that. So that would be something that this owner could do. It's good that they're open 24 hours, which is good. So that's good to see. And it's nice that Google does this. This is kind of automatically done by Google to see when busy times are and so on. Some good images as well here. Let's just click on that. So here we can see some sensible imagery goes in there. Now sometimes that can be from the owner, sometimes that can be from the visitor themselves. So so you notice here, for an example here, is someone's put a review and they've also been good enough to put an image, and this really means a lot. Google likes this. Google My Business does rank this. So this will be one of the reasons why they're doing well, is because it looks like at least one, if not more. Let's just see. So this is a great image from a person who's visited and given them a good review. So we can see that there's quite a few images on here. They look pretty smart images actually, because they're genuine images. People genuinely doing workouts. You get a good feel of what you're getting if you go to that fitness gym. And there you go. So only one image from the owner, and they are getting some great images from the people there. So if you're a business owner like these guys, then you need to make sure that you encourage people to upload images on here. So they've got a lot of photos from their membership, and that's given them a real boost. So there's one of the big secrets that they probably don't even know that's happening. So that's something to consider there. So just looking down the line here, I'm just looking to see if anyone's got, there you go, so online classes. So this is another one that gym members should be doing. So if I click on there, so if you can do online classes, then that's good. So they've put online classes, it's got a tick, it's not a link, but that occurs because they've enabled it. And they've enabled it because they've got appointments. They could deal with that by updating their hours, but I think we've said that before now. Appointments here. So you notice that the website itself is different. So if I go to the website, so that's their website, which is fine, very good. But if I go to their appointments, you'll notice that this actually is a linking to an appointment page where you can then book your appointment. So, and use Google Translate. So I'm English, so that's fine. So that's really helpful. So that there produces this here, and that just gives everyone a little bit more. And it's good also they're replying to their reviews as well, though they are missing out here on, just replying thank you, thanks for the review, or thanks for your kind words. You're missing out on using some keywords. I would definitely put in some keywords like the word gym, or like the word fitness, or fitness centre, which is what we're trying to find them under. So try and just perhaps do that. But overall, that's pretty good stuff. So let's take the third one, and this is going to be a software training institute, and this is in India. So let's see, a trip to India. So we've now got again just a nice top 3 come up. So these guys are doing well. They're Software Testing Training Institute in Pune, and they're number 1. They've got online classes as well, so that's all good stuff. Let's just have a look, see what others are doing well here. So notice here that they've got COVID updates, which is good, 13th of August, 12th of August, and you notice here the hours don't say, let's see if we've got, so hours of service may differ. That's because they've not updated their hours. These guys have updated their hours, so it doesn't show that at all. Sometimes it even says these have been registered or updated really recently. So that's good that they've managed to do that. Just running through the page, and so that's good. They've got that reference there, and also they've got this here as well, which is quite interesting. So I'm not sure how that tick there on Google, they've been approved there. That's an interesting one. I need to look into that one. And then we've got their images, and then you notice also on their reviews, again they answer their reviews. They give a good response on each one as well, which is good to see. Let's just take a look at how reviews, this is another thing you might want to just look at, is the more you use words in reviews, whether it comes from the customer, generally it's from the customer up here, but it's important to just check to see that these are keywords that are relevant to your business, because again these have kind of a little bit of a benefit, so that when someone uses, say for instance they say software trainer rather than training institute, if they just want a software trainer in India, then because you've got 9 mentioning you're a trainer, so if I click on that, so actually Google uses the word coaching as well, so it recognises the fact that's in bold means it recognises that the word trainer is also the same as coaching or coach. So there's a trainer, and again trainer. So you notice that when people use these words, so when you ask for a review, you might just want to say to the people, could you just mention that you've enjoyed my training, my coaching, that you've enjoyed my courses, that I was a useful mentor. Any of those things would be really helpful. And by using those words, when people write a review, sometimes those little pointers help them to then put it in their own words, but they will use those words. And that will help these keywords to grow. And as these grow, not only have you got 89 reviews, but you've now got some relevant reviews as an information that people genuinely are looking for. And Google will rank you higher if you get these up. So these are just, again, it's all very fine margins, but of course if someone is hunting down a trainer and you've got 9 positive reviews as a trainer and someone else has only got 6 positive reviews as a trainer, then if everything else is all equal, then of course Google will use that as the measuring factor. And all these small little things make a big difference. So hopefully that's been useful to help you in that sense. Let's just run through here as well. So we've got this one temporarily closed, which obviously we know due to COVID it's caused all sorts of issues and problems. But what is good is they've got products there, so it's good that they've got a product. Most of these don't have products, I imagine. So yeah, so that's good. So if you are temporarily closed and you've got time to update things like products, try and produce packages, products that you've noticed have been good sellers. Even if you just put something graphically together with a price, what that does, it just gives you a bit more real estate, a little bit more information about you. And the more information about you, the more chance you've got of climbing up the rankings as well. Just head down here, just see if there's anything else. So, okay, so they've got temporarily closed. They've got one Google review which was poor. So yeah, there's not really much going on there. So if you do own this business, there's a few things there you might need to do. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag on this one, but ultimately then you've got some good, basically these are heading to the top, or they're at the top, and there you go. So there's a lot of decent products there, and in this type of thing, in software training and packages like that, then this is really going to be important. And they've got answers to their questions as well. So these have looked like they, on the whole, they've put together a pretty good one. They've got appointments, which is good. Online classes, which obviously is related to that. You've got a call button. Not everyone seems to have those, so the top ones generally do. So yeah, that's important too. Let's just click on these. So that's the type of thing you can do. So if you're of a similar, so say you're one of these other companies, you haven't done products, then just check out someone else's products. Have a look at these, see what they're doing, see what they're offering, see what their prices are, and then obviously that's to inspire you to do something similar. So you wouldn't copy them, but you would certainly get an idea, a flavour of what's working. And when you click learn more, this will then take you through to, now ideally you want a landing page, which just takes you through to their contact page. But in effect, that's an inquiries page, isn't it? So, I mean, they're doing some good things there. So, something to learn from if you're wanting to. I mean, all this will give signals to Google that you're an authority in what you say you are. So, hopefully, that's useful for those in India with software training companies. So, for my next one, we're now going to the UK. So, this is more local to me, and we're going to put in land surveyor in UK Coventry. So just random. So what I did with this one, I just took a random category from my Zanet page. So if you want to know about categories, if you type in zanet.co.uk/GMB, and that will then take you through to my website, my Google My Business website, but just a page here with all these categories. So you've got every category that Google currently has. So I just took, sometimes it's just good to get a random one, so I just took a random one. In this case it was a land surveyor, so I just took land surveyor. So I think I might do a video where I just take a random one live again like this, but do it literally in front of you, and then we can go from there. But anyway, land surveyor, UK Coventry, and this is interesting because it looks like there's no competition here. So this is the thing, there's pockets of areas. There's some towns and cities, I know in Australia it's really highly competitive. I know in the UK some areas for certain companies are and some aren't. And this is the thing, is if you are a land surveyor in Coventry or near Birmingham and you haven't done this already, then either do it yourself or contact me and we can do it together, because this is ridiculous. There's no competition here at all. So anyone searching in Google, anyone who searches, let's just go back. The reality of that is that these people here, okay, this is a big national companies that have paid thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds to get to #1 in Google, and then you've got Charlie around the corner with Survey Solutions that's got no reviews. It's got a website. Let's just see what the website's like. Okay, so it's not, without sounding rude, it's not the most expensive website I've ever seen. So getting in effect #1 on Google, and then these guys here are paying probably 10, 15, 20 pounds a click to be #1 of Google. So let's just get the reality of this. This is a really good example of how Google My Business is worth so much. These guys have probably got a budget of say £10,000 to advertise to be #1. Okay, and then below that you've then got these guys who don't really look like they know anything about Google, are basically #1. They're coming up #1. These guys #2. These guys #3. And then you've then got the people that have spent a fortune paying for people to optimize their websites, coming out at number what was number one, but of course this isn't number one. These are all above number one now. So that's the reality of what we're talking about. These guys here with a website, it's reasonable, but it's probably about 10 years old. Last copyright was 2016, but that's kind of quite a dated looking website. I mean, as an example, and I might be wrong here, but if I put this to so that doesn't work at all on a mobile. So there you go. I'm having to scroll like that on a mobile. The menu's not working and so on. So, you know, it's not being harsh. It just genuinely isn't a website made to work in 2020, and yet it's number one. So hopefully you get the point I'm making here, and this is probably the most important one we've seen yet today. Okay, so enough of that. Let's see who should be number one and hasn't taken advantage. Well, these guys here, cloud estate agents, but you see they're coming up as land surveyors. So why on earth aren't they number one? They've answered questions, they've got photos, they've responded, but they're an estate agent. So maybe what this is down to, this is what I think this is, and I might be wrong. Yeah, so they're not, so they've got as a secondary category land surveyors, because that's what we've typed in, but they are a rental agency, and that's probably their main category, their prime category. So this is an example here. I might be wrong, but just off the top of my head, because this is live, I think that that's their main primary category, and if I type that in, then that's what they've been aiming for. But because there's no competition, then one of their secondary categories is getting them at number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost top 10 of a secondary category, land surveyors. So they probably do land surveying, but that isn't their main thing. These are land surveyors, and of course they are coming up as number one. Here's a surveyor, and he's coming up as number 5 or 6, and so on. So it's incredible, really. Let's just look at the next one. So land surveyor says his prime category. He's open, but he's not got full hours written out. He's not claimed it. He's not got a website. It's just someone living from home, and that's it. Honestly, guys, this is incredible. Any of you guys down here that are land surveyors, element surveyors, Rugby, so that's outside of Coventry, I suppose. That's just outside, is it? Estate agents are getting in here as well. Maybe there's just not much competition, but if you were, so let's take Metrics Surveys Limited are just top the top 3, and if you are thinking, oh, I wish someone would ring me and give me an inquiry, then get your directions on here, because you've got a website. Just do a couple of tweaks, do a few things, follow a few of my YouTube videos, and you will be number one within a week, and then you will have any inquiries. So anyone then looking for land surveyors in the UK, maybe there isn't much demand for that, I don't know, but that's been a really interesting part of this video, hopefully. And this of course applies to any country and can apply to any category as well. So that's a great one. Enjoyed finding that. Good. Let's move on to our final one, which takes us now to America. So I was contacted by a lawyer in Las Vegas. So let's try this. So just looking down here, I just noticed that on this one here, they've got, was it? There is this one. So I notice on this one here, they've got a LinkedIn profile. So again, I've got a video that shows you how you get these profiles. There was also, when I just flicked through here, I think it was on this one, they've got the Facebook profile. So Facebook, LinkedIn might be just another way of communicating if you're a lawyer, or you've got some way of communicating with your customers or your clients, then it's just worth bearing that in mind as well. But looking through these, they're all kind of quite similar. But what I will do is I will go back to the number one, because the number one clearly is doing so many things right. So apart from the fact that they don't take online appointments, and yet they've got their website there with their contact us. So maybe if there's a bit more of a booking system there, that would be good to tie that in. But that doesn't always lend itself, because you might just want it where people contact via phone. So that's understandable. So they've got all the things here, website directions, call, are all good. But you notice here products are there as well, so that's really good. They've got categories for these areas as well. So this is also getting just a little bit more credit in Google My Business. So there's no surprise it's number one. Got lots of photographs as well. Let's just click on more photos. So you'll notice here that you've got many of the photos here. You've got latest, so there's quite a few updates from the owner, or if they're different, then that shows it's from clients as well. You've also got a street view, which is useful, and you've got an office view, which is great. So if someone wanted to visit the office, they get a full flavour. This is really good. And again, there's a free way to do this. So I think this looks like it's been done that way as well. So maybe the clients used my tutorial on how you can get the 360, because normally people can charge about £500 to do this, but there is a free way to do that using the Street View app. So if you do a search for Zanet 360 degree view or something like that, then you'll find my tutorial on that. So that's really good. And of course you've got Street View, that's the Google version of it, but that's great to have your inside office. So that's a recommendation. They've got videos as well, which is really good. That's excellent. So these guys are doing all the things that are right. They're following probably my channel, and they're applying what they're learning, and they're number one, and they're going to get inquiries because of that. So that's something you need to do. If you know anyone who would benefit from my videos, then make sure you pass on a link to Zanet Design or zanet.co.uk, and you'll see the YouTube videos on there as well. So I'm going to end it there. Hopefully that's been really useful. We've done a trip from UK, we've done it to India, we've been to Montreal, we've been to New Mexico, and we started life off in Australia. So if you've got a business and you want me to give you some clues as to what you need to do, then make sure that you put in the comments below, and then on my next video, my next update, I'll try and take a look at the area that benefits you. But if you really want to continue to just do the right things for your business now, then I'm going to put a couple of videos here, and I'll join you on one of those videos. Just pick the right one for your business.